Now, if we look at the rest of the timeline, the area over here, the track area, this is where you can identify where your objects appear in time. And this is a very important, really the heart of why you're looking at the timeline. And so as I play this, you'll see that when it crosses the threshold where the 1 clip is, you see the 1 appear, and then 2 appears, and then 3 appears, and then here 1 is going to disappear, and 2 disappears, and so forth. So the physical location of these things determines where they appear in your animation. You can just pick them up and move them to adjust them, right? And notice that there is this group layer. So this group is called numbers, and this group layer contains the multiple items. You see that where they overlap, that shows how many objects. Where there's just one object, it shows just the single object there for 1. But then once it kicks into this middle area here, this now becomes, it just says 3 objects overlapping in this area over here. It's not so specific that it says 2 objects from here to here, 3 objects from here to here, 2 objects, and so forth. It just tries to give you a little bit of a simplification of what you're looking at there, because of course you can always keep that closed. And this, again, a lot of our goal when working the timeline is trying to streamline the view and keep it so that we can keep track of a lot of things at once. And so being able to collapse the group layer there enables you to see what you're looking at there. And again, depending on what you click on, where you select, you can actually select just there. I just clicked on the 3, I'm just selecting the 3 area, or over here I'm just selecting the 1 area, or in the middle there now I'm selecting, in this case I'm selecting all 3 objects. So you can manipulate the objects by the way you click on the group itself. You can also click on the top of the group to manipulate the group itself as one object, right? So if I click down here, I can move just that clip number 1. If I click up here, I'm moving the entire group itself in time. Similarly, you can see those objects here. So if we do show our masks, behaviors, and filters, you can see those objects appear here in the timeline as well. And this is very important because the duration of these bars indicates the length of these effects. So for example, this fade in, fade out, if I didn't want this clip to fade in at the very beginning, I could move that forward. I could just drag the edge of that and then change the duration of that fade in, fade out effect. So now that effect is only starting at that point, it's going to fade in from that point forward. So additionally, I want to talk about the mini timeline. The mini timeline up here shows you the duration bar of whatever is currently selected. And this can be viewed even when the timeline is closed, right? So we've been using this throughout the lessons. I haven't just gotten into a whole lot more detail about it. But right now, because that fade in, fade out behavior is selected over here in the layers list, that's the bar we see down here in the mini timeline. If I select the swoopy star generator, you see now I've got that object there, the swoopy star there. If I select the group, now I've got group 1. So you can move your objects here in the mini timeline, you can change their duration, and you can see whatever it is that is selected by selecting it there in the canvas or in the layers list, and you'll see that object selected there in the mini timeline. You see, as I select 1, 2, and 3, you see those bars show you the relative timing of where they appear. So if my playhead is over an area where that doesn't exist, you can see it's selected up here, but we can't see it. It's not until you're over that spot, now we're over the range of where that clip appears, we can see that object appear in the canvas up there.